This is the most powerful building in the French Republic, the Élysée Palace in Paris.
When you step inside, you know that you are entering the very heart of power.
The bastion of the French head of state, this showcase for French craftsmanship has welcomed and dazzled some of the most famous people in the world over the centuries. Few have had the privilege to enter here.
You can imagine de Gaulle, Pompidou, Mitterrand, or Chirac in this office. In a way, it's as if the whole history of the Fifth Republic has been brought together in this one office.
Yet on the face of it, this classical building looks nothing like the high-tech fortress it really is.
It was never destined to be that. So today, it's almost admirable that the head of state lives here, and lives here well.
After a huge transformation process that ran from the 18th to the 21st centuries, this place became the nation's seat of command. Structural modifications were undertaken that could have had dire consequences.
When they dismantled the paneling, the walls beneath were in a terrible state. Removing one part could have caused the whole thing to collapse.
And yet the palace stood firm and expanded. Since the time of Valéry Giscard d'Estaing, the eastern courtyard has even been home to the president's bunker, Jupiter HQ, and the controls for the nuclear deterrent.
There are many things that are classified as state secrets, but this is the state secret of state secrets.
How did one of the biggest private homes of the 18th century become this 21st century hyperstructure? How was it modernized and adapted to the requirements of power and the security of the head of state? This is a story of the most important palace in France. In Paris, just a few steps from the Champs-Élysées, one of the most famous avenues in the world, is an illustrious address, 55 Rue de Faubourg Saint-Honoré. Here, behind the ceremonial gate and surrounded by high walls, is the power base of the President of the French Republic. With a 1.5-hectare garden, this imposing structure, which is 125 meters long, 110 meters wide, and almost completely invisible from the street, has 365 rooms across 11,000 square meters and 4 floors. It is a maze of offices and reception rooms that is also home to the private apartments of the head of state. A strategic location under high protection.
Where there is power, there is security. And the security here is mainly provided by the Republican Guard. There are 400 officers ensuring round-the-clock security for the Élysée, along with the police, who provide protection for the Republic's top officials.
And at the center of it all is the President of the Republic, the man who must be protected at all costs. The Élysée is a fortress where you can only enter or leave with the authorization of its security teams.
The presidents are prisoners of the palace in that they cannot simply come and go as they please.
Gendarmes, police, everyone there is standing in the way of your freedom. That's the price of power.
And at the center is an underground bunker that is classified as a state secret, hidden beneath the eastern courtyard of the palace. Jupiter HQ was created under President Valéry Giscard d'Estaing. In 1974, right after he was elected, he realized that the Élysée was a seat of power that was not up to the same standards as the White House or the Kremlin.
One of the first things, according to our knowledge of the introductory protocol, was a military briefing with the Army Chief of Staff, who explained to the President how the nuclear deterrent operated. Because the President of the Republic is the only one who can press the nuclear button. And during this briefing, Giscard realized that the control system for the nuclear threat was hidden behind the moldings in one of the big reception rooms on the ground floor of the Élysée. He was kind of surprised.
France was a nuclear power. It was unacceptable to rely on a button hidden in the paneling. Valéry Giscard d'Estaing immediately ordered the construction of a command post at the Élysée that was fit for purpose. A forgotten part of the basement that was being used as a storeroom might do the trick. It had been constructed 40 years previously, when the Nazis were threatening the whole of Europe. Commissioned in 1936 by President Albert Lebrun, this 250 square meter bunker was designed to shelter 100 people. Buried 8 meters underground, its concrete walls were 1.6 meters thick and could resist a 500-kilogram bomb. It contained an office for the president, a comms center, an infirmary, an electric generator, and an air filtration system. Furthermore, it had 3 exits, including an emergency one. It was the perfect place for the new Jupiter HQ control center.
Jupiter HQ is protected from electromagnetic waves, so no communication can be intercepted by reconnaissance or spy satellites.
This secret strategic place had only been recorded by one camera in more than 40 years, when President Giscard d'Estaing took part in a full-scale drill.
It has now become a kind of command center. Today, the defense meetings held every Wednesday before the cabinet meets take place at Jupiter HQ. So it really is where key decisions are taken and from where military operations are monitored.
An underground bunker, around-the-clock police presence. If there is one forbidden and secret place in France, it is the Elysée Palace.